I think the laity is starving for clarity, is starving to develop their intellect, to better to know God. So how would you recommend, outside of what you're doing, for the laity to grasp onto the truth of who Jesus Christ is in a culture that is really pushing us away from Jesus Christ?
Well, truly, Mario, I believe deepening our Eucharistic faith. I'm very glad that the USCCB has this Eucharistic revival focus.
Right.
But the USCCB can't do it for me or for you or for any individual diocese, ultimately. It really is about, I believe, a Eucharistic revival for all of us. And that is what I would encourage anyone listening to this podcast to ramp up our Eucharistic devotion, our reverence for the Eucharist. We're in the midst of a year of the Eucharist and the Immaculate Virgin Mary. And we're having a Eucharistic Congress in June. And I really believe that if we've all seen the studies and the reports that say, only X number, and it's a fairly minimal percentage of Catholics, when it should be 110% of Catholics believe in the real presence.
Yeah.
Anything less than that is bad. I mean, it's simply a failure.
Scary.
If you call yourself Catholic and you don't really believe, I believe that a lot of the Eucharistic confusion is rooted in that we don't really deeply believe. How can we say, well, I don't, really pay attention to what the church teaches about life, or I have a totally different idea about what marriage is, and then embrace the Lord, who is the King of the church, who it's his bride. I mean, frankly, it's a slap in the face of Jesus Christ to say, I want Eucharist, but I don't want these pieces of the church. I don't want the whole deal, but absolutely, I want Eucharist. To me, that says, Mario, we don't really know him. We don't really believe that he's really there. The same one who talked to the woman at the well, the same one who changed water into wine at Cana. That's what we've got to really just keep focusing on and nurturing, that Eucharistic faith to know him. And that, like I said, if I do anything worthwhile, it's because I spend time with him. And I don't spend as much time as I need, but I try to spend daily significant time in his presence. And really, Mario, and I say this because we're working on really helping people, because I think a lot of people have no idea, what am I supposed to do if I'm there in a chapel and it's Eucharistic adoration? What do I do? It's like, how do you start the conversation?
Yeah.
And that really is, in many ways, what it comes down to. Just start the conversation. Believe it's there and say, Lord, my job is going to hell in a handbasket, or my family's a wreck, or I just have this angst inside me that I don't know what to do with. Talk to him. And what I started to mention just recently, because I have a little corner chapel at my house and the Eucharist is there, and I adore him, try to do it for an hour every morning when I first start the day. Sometimes it doesn't work, but I try to do that as a habit. And just recently, a few times, because I have to pray morning prayer and all the sort of rituals of prayer, but I've developed a habit of just having a cup of coffee with Jesus, just having a cup of coffee and just saying, Lord,
it's nice.
It's crazy. I don't know what to do with this. How do I shepherd these people better? And, Mario, I haven't heard voices, or the Lord hasn't appeared to me, but I do really feel his presence. And, I can get emotional talking about it, because if we really know him, there are moments when it hurts. Because I'm sure you have dear friends, you don't want to see them kicked and slapped and ignored and treated disrespectfully. You're going to stand. I can see you're not a little guy that's going to just let it go. You're going to get up and say, wait a minute, He's a friend of mine.
Right.
That's how we should feel about Jesus Christ, because he's really there. And he was really talked down to by Pontius Pilate. And he was really nailed to a cross. And he really fell 3 times. All of those things that happened, it's the same guy that we're talking to. We need to have that kind of relationship.